हेलो, मेरा नाम है अर्पण भाटिया। वेलकम टू द चैनल द आयरॉनिक आर्टिस्ट। आज के इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे सोनी अल्फा 1 का नया कैमरा जो काफ़ी ज़्यादा चर्चा में है। इसका प्राइस रेंज है $6,500। क्या कारण है कि इसका प्राइस इतना ज़्यादा है और इसके जितने भी नए फीचर्स हैं उसके बारे में बात करेंगे। किस फीचर का क्या रोल है, Is it really necessary? And then you be the judge to decide yourself कि क्या इसका जो प्राइस रेंज है वो सही है या नहीं है। Being a Sony user already, मुझे इसके फीचर्स के बारे में ऑलरेडी काफ़ी हद तक नॉलेज है, मैंने उनको यूज़ किया हुआ है। So I think I will have a bit better edge on how this whole thing works. चश्मा लग चुका है क्योंकि this video is gonna be a bit nerdy, so उसकी फील देने के लिए let's go ahead and open that video. नाम ही है इसका the one. I don't know, I guess Sony wants to show that this is the one, this is it. It's just the one. I'm not sure what exactly it means, but well, that's how the whole marketing works. So right off the edge you will see that ये body 50 megapixels की है और 30 frame per second. Basically that means so if you will take a pictures in burst mode, you can have like 30 frames per second burst mode, which means अगर आप शटर को दबा के रखेंगे तो आप हर सेकेंड में कैमरे से 30 पिक्चर्स क्लिक कर सकते हैं. Yeah, whether it's raw or not, I'm not sure, but anyways I think 30 fps is like humongous number. Even if you can have like around 10 to 15 images, this is like more than enough. They never mentioned this thing कि किस shutter speed पे आप ले सकते हैं. I think if you are into long exposure shot, तो इसमें आप shutter speed को कम रखेंगे, then obviously you wouldn't be able to have so many frames per second. This probably seems pleasing to the eye. It's just to attract the consumers. 120 times per second. AF AE calculation. AF का मतलब है यहाँ पे auto focus और AE का मतलब है auto exposure. It has a very fast way of focusing your subject, and at the same time it will automatically lock the exposure as well. ज़ीरो ब्लैकआउट बेसिकली मीन्स कि अगर आप बर्स्ट मोड पे फ़ोटोज़ ले रहे हैं तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि उनमें से 1 out of 10 images might black out, which means उसमें you will have a black shadow on your image, which might not be the case in this instance. So this is what Sony is promoting in this feature. 240 fps, 240 frames per second refresh rate viewfinder. So the viewfinder has also been upgraded in this one. Higher refresh rate means you will be able to see much more clearly, but this was expected. 8K is something, in my opinion, you really have to see if you do you really need 8K, because I'm using like 55 inch of monitor, और अगर एक में 4K की footage और दूसरे में 8K की footage है, so it's very difficult to make out the difference. So even if you somehow able to afford this camera, you may have to consider upgrading your computer also, because you would need a very high CPU, because obviously you wouldn't just have an 8K camera, you would want to do some post processing as well. You will also want to work on those softwares to manage those heavy files. Full frame stacked 50 megapixels. X4RS CMOS sensor, which is a Sony technology all in all. It is owned by Sony and it has 2 stops of noise reduction techniques, which means that the camera body, the sensor itself, while taking pictures, it works on reducing the noise in your image. And this is why Sony के कैमरास को दूसरे कैमरा से कंपेयर करेंगे तो इसकी लो लाइट परफॉर्मेंस बेहतर होता है. ये टेक्नोलॉजी 10 साल पुरानी है. Bionz XR has been an integral part of Alpha full frame cameras. जितने भी Sony के Alpha cameras जो कि full frame आए हैं उनमें Bionz का ही प्रोसेसर है. जब इसमें आप 8K की क्षमता दे रहे हो तो you need a heavy processing unit, so that's why this has been upgraded. So expectation है there will be less lag, the speed will be much higher. इसमें आपको you will have a new card, so अगर आप में faster card लोगे तो you need high powered processor along with that to take your images without any interruption, without any lag. 50 megapixel with 15 stop dynamic range. इसमें एक terms and condition दिया हुआ है छोटा सा, Sony measurement. So to be honest with you, डायनामिक रेंज को मेजर करने का कोई क्राइटेरिया अभी तक आया नहीं है. अब जितनी भी कैमरा की कंपनीज है वो अपने डायनामिक रेंज को बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलती है, लेकिन nobody knows कि इसको कैलकुलेट करने का मेथड क्या है. 15 stop means what exactly were you trying to say here, which basically dynamic range means आप अगर फोटो लेते हो उसके हाईलाइट और शेडो में जितनी भी डिटेल्स होती है उसको आप कितना ज़्यादा मैनिपुलेट करके बाहर ला सकते हैं अपनी पोस्ट प्रोसेसिंग के टाइम पे. यू नो द बैलेंस बिटवीन द हाईलाइट एंड द शैडो इज मच बेटर. इवन इफ यू हैव लाइक 6 to 7 stops, that's like this has been tested by a lot of photographers, and being like 15 stop is a crazy number, but it's something we'll find out once we'll have a field test of this. 50 megapixel at up to 30 frames per second. What's the terms and condition at the bottom? Here they have mentioned that it's going to be 1 of 125 second shutter speed. So अगर आप 1 of 125 second shutter speed से ज़्यादा use करोगे, then you will be able to have 30 frames per second. But that's a huge number. अगर मैं अपना Sony a7 III का भी use कर रहा हूँ तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैं उसके कंटिन्यूस बर्स्ट मोड को लो पे सेट करूँ, क्योंकि अगर मुझे एक सिंगल शॉट भी लेना है तो वो इतना फास्ट होता है कि मैं एक बार दबाता हूँ तो कम से कम 3 से 4 फोटोज़ वो अपने आप खींच लेता है. सो आई थिंक having 30 fps is something, in my opinion, you do not need it. अगर आप heavily अगर आप sports photography कर रहे हैं on a daily basis, on a regular basis, then you will never lose a moment in this way. It's like this crazy number. Blackout free for an uninterrupted view. It's very self-explanatory. इन्होंने अपने वीडियोस में भी दिया हुआ है कि आप जब किसी सब्जेक्ट अगर मोशन में अगर उसकी फ़ोटोज़ ले रहे हैं बर्स्ट मोड में तो उसमें ब्लैकआउट नहीं आएगा. फ्लैश सिंक विद इलेक्ट्रॉनिक शटर. बेसिकली इट मीन्स कि आपका कैमरा फ्लैश के साथ कितना अच्छे से कम्युनिकेट कर पा रहा है. अगर आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक शटर यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो इट ट्रिगर द फ्लैश एग्जैक्टली व्हेन द शटर इज at its maximum size. You will be able to have the best out of your flash. Dual driven shutter for flash sync up to 1 of 4. Okay, so usually आप फ्लैश फोटोग्राफ 1 of 200 सेकेंड से लेकर 1 of 250 सेकेंड तक ले पाते हैं. अगर आप इससे ज़्यादा शटर स्पीड करते हैं तो आपके फ़ोटोज़ में शटर कर्टेन आ जाता है which looks very odd. So here Sony is claiming that it can go up to 1 of 400 second, which will give you much more flexibility when you're taking a picture of a fast moving subject. You will have more flexibility to freeze your subject at the right time. So here is the example right there. And the silent shutter, जहाँ तक मैंने Sony Alpha का कैमरा यूज़ किया है, when it says it's a silent shutter, it actually is a silent shutter because at that time it's using electronical shutter, and then it has a way to completely silence the shutter. This way you can shoot without making any noise and without letting other people know कि आप photography कर रहे हैं. In public places, if you want to have a candid shot without bothering other people around you, you will be able to shoot. Improved anti-distortion shutter. जैसा कि इन्होंने पिक्चर में ऑलरेडी दिखाया हुआ है, बिकॉज ऑफ द लेंसेज समटाइम्स इट हैपन्स कि अगर आपके पिक्चर में आपके सब्जेक्ट में कोई लाइन है वो कभी कभी बेंट हो जाती है. तो इसमें इन्होंने एक फीचर दी हुई है कि यूजिंग AI इट आइडेंटिफाइज कि अगर कोई डिस्टॉर्शन आ रहा है तो इट फिक्सेस दैट विद इन द कैमरा बॉडी इटसेल्फ. एंड फ्लिकर फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एंड मैकेनिकल शटर्स. आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक यूज़ कर रहे हैं या मैकेनिकल यूज़ कर रहे हैं, इसमें फ्लिकर फ्री इमेजेस आएगी. वाइड ऑटो फोकस कवरेज, 759 point face detection, autofocus with approximately 92% coverage. It's again amazing that it has a lot of points which can be used for locking your subject, and it will do the real-time tracking for you. It will identify the human face, the bird face. It will be able to focus right on the eye. This feature was already there in Alpha model, and Sony has been really good in living up to the expectation on these features. It's fast, especially if you're using Sony native lenses. Then this autofocus is really fast, and it barely misses its subject eye. So I see that the 8K can be done up to 30 frames. Okay, so that's nice, but they have not mentioned for how long. Obviously, एक time के बाद आपका camera गर्म हो जाएगा and it will stop recording. Okay, and now you can do recording up to 120 frames per second, which means you can slow down the movement. You can have your scene record within the camera in slow motion. So again, something Sony is claiming, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to live up to that. And they have a Cinetone for cinematic look. There's an inbuilt profile, and there's a 10-bit 4:2 chroma subsampling, supports flexible editing. That means if your work is around green screen and all, then because you will be able to see more details in your images, so while doing the post-production, the software will be able to identify the green area much better, and you won't have to spend more time in adjusting the chroma key features in post-production. 10-bit HDR shooting reproduces fine graduation and details, just how it says. You will have there is a number of colors which you can produce if you are taking an image without HDR. अगर आप HDR में फोटो ले रहे हैं तो वो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी ज़्यादा हो जाती है, आपका कैमरा ज़्यादा कलर्स ऑब्टेन कर पाता है आपके सब्जेक्ट से, and in result you will have higher dynamic range, just how the name suggests. And then yes, they are creative look, which means they are inbuilt profiles which you can use to give different mood to your subject, to your scene. Active mode optical image stabilization, which sounds to me that इसमें एक digital technique इन्होंने use की जो आपके footage को stable करेगी. Usually how it works is that it will crop the video to a certain degree, और वो जितने भी edges है उसको cut out करके आपके horizon को straight रखता है, और इससे आपकी footage में ज़्यादा shakiness नहीं आती है. So I think that if that something is there on top of the inbuilt body stabilization, then I think that's gonna improve the stabilization for Sony camera, because in my experience the stabilization in Sony camera is still not there. I still have to struggle when I am moving my camera while taking videos. Okay, so it says that it has an effective heat dissipation for extended recording. Acha, theek hai, but it has not mentioned for how long you can take the videos. डायग्राम को देख के लग रहा है कि इसमें हीट फैन को जो एग्जॉस्ट करने का एरिया है, दैट इज राइट बिहाइंड द LCD डिस्प्ले. सो आई एम नॉट श्योर क्या हमें उसको खोल के रखना पड़ेगा, देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू मेक श्योर कि आपका कैमरा लेस हीट हो. 9.44 million dot EVF. दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द colors. It will be much more brighter, the viewfinder of your camera. And yeah, so there is an inbuilt body image stabilization for 5.5 step, and yeah, it's saying that it's been verified by CPA. It's a Japanese company which creates the report of the fairness of a certain product, but so far I think that उन्होंने ये चीज़ mention की है हर जगह पे. So you know, सोनी की एक टेंडेंसी रही है कि वो काफ़ी ऑनेस्ट रही है जितने भी उन्होंने मार्केटिंग की है अपने प्रोडक्ट्स की. So far also it convincing तो है. Super speed USB 10 Gbps, okay, fine. They have a fast USB port, and there's a 1000 base T Ethernet for fast communication. So now you can connect the internet wire as well to the camera body, and this is something you'll have to decide. अगर आप काम studio के around ज़्यादा है, then you can use this feature. If you are interested to communicate your device with other objects much efficiently, then this feature is useful for you. High speed USB tethering with 5G smartphone. Okay, तो they are forecasting कि अब काफ़ी ज़्यादा फ़ोन जितने भी आएंगे वो 5G ही होंगे, so they are already prepared. Dual CF Express Type A compatible media slots. तो यहाँ पे दो CF Express card है. CF Express card are known for faster transfer rate. It claims to have 1 GB per second, which is obviously you need it if you are recording 8K. Durable magnesium alloy chassis, strong build, high reliability, mechanical shutter. Oh, you can have an extra grip and battery. improved dust and moisture resistant, but there is something which they have put at the bottom which says K Sony does not guarantee it. Like I said, you know, Sony's been honest with us so far. Customizable function, yes, there are a lot of custom buttons. As you can see, this has always been. जहाँ तक कि इसकी बॉडी का सवाल है, ये बाकी जितने भी अल्फा कैमराज आए हैं उनसे काफ़ी मिलती जुलती है, तो उनमें भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा कस्टम बटन्स दिए हुए थे. एंड दैट्स इट. So I hope it must have made some sense now, whatever they're marketing, and you'll be able to judge yourself to see कि आपको इसकी ज़रूरत है या नहीं है. And that's it. See you in the next video.